Vacation 2018. In February 2018, me and my mom and dad went on a trip to Europe. We went to the airport in Montreal and took a flight to Lisbon, and from Lisbon another flight to Rome. In Rome, we took a really fast taxi to our apartment. The first day, our family went to the Pantheon. Did you know the Roman Empire used to pray to gods in the Pantheon? At the top of the Pantheon, there's a hole called the oculus. When it rains, water goes in the Pantheon, but drains because of holes in the floor. I took lots of pictures of the Pantheon. I also went to Spanish Steps. I walked from the top to the bottom. There were 125 steps.
There was 125 steps.
My brother and sister met us in Rome, and we went to Trevi Fountain. If you throw one coin over your head in Trevi Fountain, you will come back to Rome. If you throw 2 coins over your head, you will fall in love. If you throw 3 coins over your head, you will marry someone. I threw 1 coin in. Next, we visited the Vatican. The Vatican is the smallest country in the world. 840 people live there. When we visited the Vatican, it had snowed. It was the first time in 26 years. We went to Bocca di Verità. Bocca di Verità means mouth of truth. It is a big statue that you put your hand in, and if you tell a lie, your hand gets cut off. We also went to the Colosseum.
We're at the Colosseum. My mom, Lena, and Matthew are right there.
The Colosseum is the largest round theater in the world. It was built in 72 AD and is 12 stories high. It could fit 50,000 people who come to watch gladiators fight each other. I went to go see my first Juventus game. Juventus were playing Lazio. It was 0-0, and at the last 30 seconds, Juventus scored and won the game.
Il piattone per Dybala, va Paolo, attenzione, Dybala, attenzione, Dybala! 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 La Juventus è in vantaggio al minuto numero 93, Paolo Dybala, un gol strepitoso della gioia, Paolo Dybala fa esplodere il settore ospiti, una magia di Paolo all'ultimo istante, all'ultimo intervento, 1-0 Juve!
It was 0-0, and at the second minute, Juventus scored against Lazio and won the game.
Wow, awesome.
After the soccer game, we took a plane from Rome to Barcelona, and we went to a mall, but my brother and sister went shopping at another store. So when we were at the mall, there was a big cage and a screen, so I asked the lady if I could go in. She said, "Sí," that means yes. And I grabbed a soccer ball and I went in the cage. First, the screen asked me what language I spoke. I chose English. And it asked me what challenge I wanted to do. I chose shooting. So on the screen it showed a target, and I tried to hit it. I hit the target a lot of times. After that, I went to Park Güell. In Park Güell, there's lots of cool things. There's a giant mosaic lizard, houses that have a lot of color, and I saw lots of tunnels. Park Güell was designed by Gaudi, the same architect of Sagrada Familia, the biggest church in Europe. Gaudi said nothing can be bigger than God's creation. Next, we went to the beach. I brought my soccer ball. I did a lot of skills at the beach. I was goalie, and my dad took shots on me. I made a great save. My brother and sister left, and we went to the airport to continue our vacation to Porto. When we were in Porto, my mom and dad took me to a pastry shop. We all had nata. Nata is a tart with custard in the middle. It is delicious. We took a ride on a really old tram to a lighthouse. Near the lighthouse, there was lots of big waves. We saw a park beside the waves, so we went to the park. It was fun. After we went to the park, it started to rain, and we had to walk 7 kilometers back to our apartment. At our apartment, it took me like 300 tries to try the Around the World, and I finally got it. We left Porto to take a 3-hour train ride to Lisbon. When we got to Lisbon, the first thing we did was get groceries. We took a bus to an aquarium. In the aquarium, the coolest thing I saw was white spotted jellyfish and a sunfish. Sunfish can weigh up to 3,200 pounds. And I also saw other fish like spider crabs and lots of other fish. Next, we headed back to our apartment. We headed to Sintra. It takes 50 minutes for us to get to Sintra. It's a palace with lots of castles. We got to see 2 castles. The first castle was my favorite because we had 2 wells. The first well was okay.
The well that we just went through was 10 meters, and we're going on one that's 27 meters.
Cool.
But the second well was awesome because we got to go down the well. In the well, there was this cave. We went in the cave, and when we came out of the cave, there was a beautiful waterfall. It was amazing. We took stepping stones across a lake. I almost fell in. After we explored, we headed over to the other palace called Pina Palace. Because of steep hills, people use tuk-tuks to get around. We took a tuk-tuk. It was fun. When we arrived at Pina Palace, it was really colorful, mostly red and yellow. We also took a tuk-tuk back to the train station, and we took a train back to our apartment.
A tuk-tuk. It was really fun.
On Sunday, we went to a soccer game, Sporting versus Rio Ave. The fans were crazy. The fans were chanting, they were playing drums. It was really very loud. Sporting won, and we headed back to our apartment. We packed our bags, and the next day we headed back. I really liked this trip because I had a lot of time to play soccer. It was a fun trip. The end.